One-hit wonders every 70s kid remembers. The 1970s were a remarkable decade for music, as some of the most iconic hits in rock and R&B originated during this time. Disco was also an incredibly popular genre that seemed to dominate radio stations everywhere you went. Yet, while many artists made enduring songs that have since become essential 70s classics, sadly their success would only last 1 year on the US charts, or less. Let's take a look at if any of your favorite one-hit wonders from the 70s make our list. Spirit in the Sky, Norman Greenbaum. Norman Greenbaum's iconic Spirit in the Sky captivated audiences around the world when it was released on his 1969 album of the same name. In just a few months, its immense popularity skyrocketed to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for an astonishing 15 weeks straight. This single hit gold status within 1 year, with over 2 million copies sold, cementing its place as a timeless classic that continues to be enjoyed by generations today. Greenbaum was motivated to pen his first gospel song when he watched Porter Wagoner perform on television, as relayed in an interview with the New York Times in 2006. "I remember thinking, that's something I can do, even though I know nothing about the genre, and from there wrote my own," said Greenbaum. Kung Fu Fighting, Carl Douglas. Paying tribute to the popular Chop Socky movies of the 1970s, Carl Douglas' iconic hit single Kung Fu Fighting was released in 1974 and became a worldwide phenomenon. The infectious track sold an astonishing 11 million copies around the globe, proving its timeless appeal. The legendary Kung Fu Fighting is widely recognized to be one of the greatest one-hit wonders of all time. Douglas's own career, however, was unfortunately overshadowed by this song and ended up being his only recognizable hit. While he had 2 milder hits after that in Britain, namely Dance the Kung Fu, they never made impact outside its borders. Ooh Child, 5 Stairsteps. Instantly recognizable and still beloved by many, Ooh Child was an iconic hit back in the summer of 1970. Written and performed masterfully by 5 Stairsteps, it skyrocketed to number 8 on Billboard's Hot 100 charts, an incredible feat that continues to inspire music lovers around the world today. Heralded as the first family of soul, the Chicago-based 5 Stairsteps consisted of Aloha, Clarence Jr., James, Dennis, and Kenny Burke, have a vast discography. While some songs made minor waves among audiences, none compared to their single hit phenomenon, Ooh Child, which gained them tremendous recognition with its top 40 status. Even more remarkable is that it's endured in popularity for years due to its uplifting message that strikes a powerful chord with listeners everywhere. Magic, Pilot. In 1974, Scottish rock band Pilot debuted their single Magic and made an immediate impact on audiences around the world. This song went on to sell a staggering 1 million copies within its first year of release, earning it gold certification in that same time period, and peaking at number 5 on US charts, making it their only success story for American fans. Although they released another popular single titled January, it received more attention from British and Australian listeners rather than stateside music lovers. Pilot quickly exited the American music industry soon after they debuted, but their fame resurfaced in the early 2000s. The song Magic became even more popular when Pillsbury released an ad featuring it back in 2007. 2 years later, Selena Gomez sang a cover of this hit tune on Disney Channel's Wizards of Waverly Place, furthering its popularity and creating a whole new generation of fans. Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes, Edison Lighthouse. In 1970, the chart-topping hit Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes by English pop band Edison Lighthouse reached number 5 on US charts and sparked speculation as to who Rosemary may be in real life, many women claiming that they were her. In reality, Sylvan Mason's husband Barry collaborated with her on writing the song. However, it was originally titled something else until producers opted to include a girl's name for potential marketing purposes. And this is how Rosemary made its way into the lyrics of what would later become an iconic love anthem. Ring My Bell, Anita Ward. Anita Ward's iconic song Ring My Bell skyrocketed to the top of both Billboard Hot 100 and Soul Singles charts in 1979, earning her a Grammy nomination. Though its suggestive lyrics raised eyebrows then, few people know that it was actually written for 11-year-old Stacey Ladisaw. This one-hit wonder continues to wow listeners even today with its infectious beat and timeless lyrical content. Frederick Knight wrote the song for teens about talking on the telephone. However, when Ladisaw signed with a different label, he gave it to Ward. She wasn't initially fond of the track and wanted it to capitalize on disco fever. But due to her gospel background, she didn't want too many suggestive lyrics included either. Eventually, though, after much consideration and deliberation, Ward decided that this was indeed what she wanted for her music career. Afternoon Delight, Starland Vocal Band. Starland Vocal Band's Afternoon Delight quickly rose to the top of the charts in 1976 due to its alluring lyrics, as well as its masterful harmonies. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 and won 2 Grammy nominations, including Best Arrangement for Voices and Best New Artist. The song remains a classic favorite among many music fans today. When Bill Danoff, one of the founding members of the Starland Vocal Band, was asked about their Grammy win, he replied that it was basically the kiss of death, and he felt sorry for all those who have received it since. After they awarded an Emmy in 1977, they hosted a CBS variety show called the Starland Vocal Band Show. Yet this attempt to replicate their success with Afternoon Delight ultimately failed. In the Summertime, Mungo Jerry. Mungo Jerry's In the Summertime is an iconic musical representation of summertime. The old-school throwback invokes a feeling of nostalgia for those who grew up in the 70s and captures perfectly that carefree spirit synonymous with this season. When people think about sunshine and good times, it's likely one of the first tunes to come to mind. In 1970, the ubiquitous hit single was unleashed to the world by Dawn Records under the Pyre imprint. It went on to become a worldwide sensation, peaking at number 3 in the Billboard Hot 100 and selling 10 million copies. What made it even more special was its release as a maxi single in an eye-catching picture sleeve, unheard of for that time period, making it an exceptionally precious item for collectors today. Additionally, this beloved song has been frequently utilized in TV shows and movies throughout history. My Sharona, The Knack. My Sharona by The Knack had an unprecedented 5-week run at the top of Billboard's Hot 100 chart, making it the #1 song of 1979 and receiving gold certification. Their follow-up single, Good Girls Don't, made its own impressive mark with a peak at the number 11 position. However, they weren't able to replicate the success due to negative public opinion that surfaced shortly thereafter. The widespread belief that the Knack were merely Beatles rip-offs and composed love songs about teenage girls when, in reality, members of the bands were much older caused a massive uproar. The Nuke the Knack campaign, spearheaded by San Francisco artist Hugh Brown, effectively damaged their popularity amid such accusations. Me and Mrs. Jones, Billy Paul. In 1972, soul singer Billy Paul was determined to make a name for himself. Luckily, he had the help of producers Gamble and Huff, who created Me and Mrs. Jones, with it becoming an instant hit. The single remained in the #1 spot on music charts for 3 glorious weeks, earning platinum status after selling 2 million copies. Billy Paul was honored with a Grammy for his hit song, which has since been interpreted by the likes of the Dramatics, Freddie Jackson, and Michael Bublé. Sadly, though, Paul's subsequent single, Am I Black Enough for You, did not have similar success. Its content reflected sentiments associated with Black Power that were considered too controversial to be played on mainstream radio stations at the time. You Light Up My Life, Debbie Boone. In 1977, Debbie Boone's beloved ballad, You Light Up My Life, was an unprecedented success, spending 10 consecutive weeks at #1 on the prestigious Billboard Hot 100 and earning her a Grammy for Best New Artist and American Music Award for Favorite Pop Single. The song had originally been written for the film of the same name by Casey Cizik, but it's still considered to be among the greatest Billboard charted songs of all time due to Boone's remarkable rendition. Despite embarking on a country music career post-hit single fame, she never quite reached that level of widespread recognition again in her discography. I Love the Nightlife, Alicia Bridges. Music aficionados of disco are likely to remember Alicia Bridges' hit single from 1978, I Love the Nightlife, which achieved a #5 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed firmly rooted at #2 for 2 weeks, running on the disco charts. An impressive feat, as it was even played in country music radio stations. Clearly, this song is widely regarded as a classic dance track due to its passionate lyrics about leaving one's partner behind so that they can enjoy nights out dancing. Interestingly enough, Bridges herself wasn't too keen on performing her own songs or doing an entire album of pure dancing tracks, despite being credited with crafting such an iconic disco anthem. Nonetheless, we'll always fondly recall how she made us want to get up and move our feet with her unforgettable tune. Dancing in the Moonlight, King Harvest. French-American rock group King Harvest had a single major hit with Dancing in the Moonlight, composed by Wells Kelly's brother. Although their original release was met without success, Perception Records reacquired and relaunched it worldwide to great effect. In 1972, this song peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, yielding astounded acclaim for the band that was soon cut short due to a lack of successful subsequent singles. Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang. Rap began to emerge during the 1970s, yet was widely regarded as a passing trend by those outside the Bronx region. However, 1979's Rapper's Delight changed all that when it became popular with mainstream audiences, even if its success didn't reach past the top 40 on US charts. Although Sugar Hill Gang never achieved another hit in America after this iconic release, they still enjoyed lasting fame across Europe. Play That Funky Music, Wild Cherry. When Wild Cherry debuted their song Play That Funky Music in 1976, it became an instant #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Prior to this success, however, the band had been struggling as a hard rock group at club performances. That is, until one audience member challenged them to play something funkier by shouting, "Play some funky music, white boy." This comment compelled Rob Parisi and his fellow bandmates to reinvent themselves as a funk outfit, and they never looked back. Despite making waves with this single track, though, unfortunately, it would be Wild Cherry's only notable piece of work ever released. Why Can't We Live Together by Timmy Thomas. As soon as children hear the bossa nova-style percussion and low-ray organ at the beginning of Drake's 2015 hit song Hotline Bling, they're actually listening to an old-school track from 1979, Why Can't We Live Together, by R&B musician Timmy Thomas. Thomas was the sole performer of this mega hit, which peaked at number 3 on US charts during early 1970s and has recently been sampled by Drake to reach an incredible 4th place in 2020. It's astonishing that a song could have such success twice in one lifetime. Thomas certainly feels honored and humbled by it all. Pop Music by M. In 1979, British band M shook the music world with their groundbreaking hit, Pop Music, and it immediately ushered in a new and exciting sound. Proving to be one of the main songs that pioneered what we now know as New Wave, this electrifying track swiftly topped the Billboard Hot 100 after its North American debut. Musician Robin Scott created the band M with an aim to bring together 25 years of pop music, exemplified by Pop Music, featuring a combination of R&B and funk. As he later put it, "I wanted to create this amalgam that would represent everything in terms of musical evolution from the past quarter century."